Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to predict Chelsea's 25-26 season. It's going to be a long season. Hopefully a lot of highs. There's definitely going to be a lot of, not a lot, but there's going to be some downs with such a young squad that we have that, can they be great? Yes, but don't be surprised with the inconsistency. All right. Chelsea are going into the season on a high after just winning the Club World Cup. We've signed a few players, the likes of Esteval, which we signed last year, but he's finally 18. He's into the squad. We signed Esteval, Jamie Gittins from Dortmund, exciting winger. João Pedro from Brighton, a very versatile attacker that can play the 9, the 10, can play on the wings. He could do a job anywhere across the front line. I knew he was good. After the Club World Cup, I was very surprised. Very surprised. I did not expect that. When it comes to Brazilian talents, they're gonna be very techie, most of them, unless they're like Martinelli. But boy, I was in shock. I was at the semifinal against Fluminense. Go watch the vlog. You'll see my reaction to both goals. I was shook. But yeah, like João Pedro, Andre Santos. Even though he's not a new signing, but he's back from his loan. Had a great loan at Strasbourg. As a loanee, he was a captain at 20. Crazy. Liam Delap, 30 million English striker, young striker from Ipswich. He got 12 league goals with a relegation side. 30 mil isn't a bad for a player of his caliber, his age. If he bangs, great. If he doesn't bang, it's not gonna hurt to offload him. You know what I mean? But I do have high hopes for him. Dario Esuogu. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but he's a Portuguese CDM. From what I've seen, that's Caicedo 2.0. You see him on the field, I deadass thought that was Caicedo. Caicedo 2.0. He ain't. Like, they call Caicedo a shin kicker. This motherfucker a shin kicker. He about to violate you if you get in his area. Jarrell Hato, 19-year-old left back that can play center back. He can fill in a role. But I prefer him at the left back. Great signing. 19-year-old, 100 appearances for Ajax and captain for them. One of their best players coming out of their academy. Finally gonna have a backup for Cucurella. And yeah, that man needs some rest. He's been going strong since summer 2024. No, to the end of the 2024 season, he's been going strong because that's when Chilwell went down. Posh brought him, started playing Cucurella more often, and he inverted him into midfield and stuff like that. And then since then, went to the Euros, popped off, had an insane season, scored 7 goals across all comps. In my opinion, the best left back in the world, and we finally got some rest for my boy. Finally, Jarrell Hato, very promising. He definitely needs time. Young kid, definitely time. I saw him against West Ham. Wasn't great, but again, he just needs time. It's okay. Henry Pies finally into the squad, but send him on loan to Strasbourg. Let him get some European. Let him get some European experience in. I think they're going to be in the Conference League as well, so he might get some. He might get some good minutes, and from what I've seen so far, he's doing so far so well. Mike Penders, goalkeeper. He's the only reason why I'm not having like a bitch fit that we're still playing Sanchez and we're not signing a new keeper, because Mike Penders is apparently for the future. So he's on loan at Strasbourg. So I think he went down with an injury, so hopefully he's back soon and healthy. But very promising goalkeeper. He's only 19, I believe. Young kid. And he's Belgian, and he's from Genk. So it might be another Thibaut Courtois situation. Hopefully. Mamadou Sarr we signed him from Strasbourg, but we sent him back on loan. You know, it's okay. With signing new players, we also let go a lot of players, and then we let go a lot of players like Nani, Carney, Chukwuemeka, and Firmino going on loan. KDH, my dog, Conference League Messi. That's my dog. He's at Everton now. We've also had some other outgoings, and we still have more to let go, but some of those are difficult. Either they just not that good, or two, they're past their age and they're on insane wages from prior contracts to like the structure we have now. So it's hard to offload them because clubs don't want to pay someone like Raheem Sterling almost 300K a week. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. But yeah, we're gonna predict the season. Like I said, it's a long season. So yeah, like I said, we're coming into the season with a lot of confidence. And a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but a lot of rivals and like pundits and the typical Chelsea haters. They're all like on our case. They're like, oh, if you so-called won the Club World Cup, and shouldn't you be going for all the trophies? And like, yes, that's the no-brainer. Like, that's the obvious. Every single club is going for trophies. Like, come on now, let's be fucking realistic. Everybody's going for a trophy. You don't go into a season saying, oh yeah, we just here. Like, yes, everybody wants to go for the trophy, but you also gotta be fucking realistic about these like trophies and achievements and like what do you want out of your season. We got fucking damn. We as a club were down fucking bad with these new owners in the beginning. Got rid of Tuchel, then came in Potter. It was a mess. Brought in Poch, and I'm like, all we want is a little bit of improvement and some European football. We got that, but there's still some issues. We go into the season. Yeah, we go into last season. Signing Maresca, more new signings in European football. And yes, it's Conference League, European football. Won that comfortably. So now, and then we won that comfortably, got top 4. So obviously we're improving. And like, that's what we wanted. You gotta comfortably win the Conference League and get top 4. We got that improvement. And we're playing better football. Whether some of it was good, some of it was definitely bad. Don't get me wrong, because it is a very young team and very inconsistent team. It's gonna happen. We went on in the beginning of the season. We went on a crazy stretch of games, going all out. We were saying our Chelsea's back, and they are back. And then after that, we fell off until like what I believe March or April. That's when we kind of like locked the fuck in, and we still weren't playing like confident football for you to be saying, oh yeah, like easy peasy, But we get our top 4, and that's all we wanted. We got our top 4 going into the Club World Cup. Realistically, I'm like, okay, I'm just happy to be here, and I'm also happy that Chelsea were on the northeast, so I could watch them. Literally, that's the only thing I was happy. If we get quarterfinals, cool. Like, that's the max I thought we could get, because you had the likes of Real Madrid, PSG. Who else? You just had like Bayern Munich were in there, and then you had teams from Asia, you had teams from South America, you had some MLS teams, you had some, there was teams from all over the world, and I'm realistically thinking, I'm like, we aren't better than half of them. We aren't better than the so-called teams predicted to win, and the team predicted to win was PSG or Real Madrid. And luckily, us losing our second game against Flamengo put us second in the group, and then on the other side of the bracket, where the so-called not so good teams were at. But who else was there? Man City, Inter Milan. So yeah, but it's our fault that. But apparently, it's our fault that they lost those games, and then we got an easy route to the final. Whatever. We get to the final. Belt to ass on PSG. Belt to ass. So, yes, we're like, yes, right now, I think that game gave us not only the club and the players, but the fans confidence to go into games. Like, at our best, we can go toe to toe with anybody, and that's facts. That game proved it, and people are gonna give excuse that it was hot, that they were playing away from their grounds, yada yada yada. We were playing there too. We were playing there too. They didn't care. It's just a preseason tournament. That's tough. But half the time, those are comments from people and fans that their teams weren't in there or got knocked out early. So, anyway, but yeah, being realistically, yes, go for every fucking trophy. Go for every fucking trophy that you can fucking win. But also be realistic. And that's what we want to do right now. Alright? So, many times, this whole transfer, since the Club World Cup, the main thing with Chelsea and the rivals, pundits, or even our own fans, because we got haters in our own fans, and it's very weird. But the main thing is like, oh, if you're so good, are you going to challenge for the league? Well, fucking duh. Like last year, because I understand why they're asking that question, because last year we were like in the top 3, in the top 2 for a bit, and then we fell off. But the whole time we were saying we're not in the title race, because we weren't. Realistically speaking, we weren't in a title race because it was too premature. Now I'm going into the season with a lot more confidence. Players with much more experience, players with trophies under their belt. They're gonna go into games saying like, yes, we can win these fucking games. And that's the confidence you want to see in your players. So, will we be challenging for the league? Yes. But will we be winning the league? No. And that's just being realistic. I do think the other 3 teams there's 3 better teams than us in the league. But can we beat those teams? Hell fucking yes. Literally, it will come down. It will come down to just I would say that not the trajectory, but also like the experience of like the squads. Like Arsenal, they've been going at it for now the four past years, consistently at the top. Liverpool been doing that for years. Man City been doing that for years. We only did that last year. We are not ready. But if we do it, great. I ain't complaining. But we're not ready. And that's okay to not be ready. It's okay to not be ready now. Like, it's okay. Like, but just know we coming. We coming hard. That's all people need to know. Like, it's not gonna be like this forever. It's not. And who knows, we might still go for it. Like, we still could do it this year. Like, it's very possible. But I'm looking like at some of our squad, I'm just like, for example, our goalkeeper Robert Sanchez. You're not winning a league with Robert Sanchez. That's just being fucking realistic. Like, let's stop fucking around. Okay, so alright, going into our predictions, like, you know, I have where we're gonna finish in the league, how we're gonna do in the Cups, how we're gonna do in the UCL, who's gonna be, you know, our signing of the season, who's gonna be our most improved, who's gonna be a one to watch, or who's gonna be our top scorer, and who's gonna top scorer, top assist, and who's gonna be our player of the season. So going into the league, I wanted. Yes, I'm doing this 2 games into the season, which is like, to some people it's very late, and like, and it's kind of like cheating, because like you were seeing them play, so you're kind of already assuming how the season's gonna go. But from what I've seen so far, the past 2 games, we've drawn to Crystal Palace and we've smoked West Ham. Is exactly what I predicted us going into the league with. So it's not like we're doing good. Like that Crystal Palace draw, yes, people were like, oh my god, like they thought it was fucking the end of the world. No, like Crystal Palace are a solid team that are now in Europe, and yes, they just lost Eze, and they're about to lose Guehi, but they're still a well structured team. Like I Palace can beat a lot of teams in Europe. Don't get it fucked up. Do not get it fucked up. They are scary. But yeah, my mind hasn't changed from like since before game week 1. It's still the same. I predicted it. Like my predictions. If you watch my last video, I did predictions on Premier League. That was recorded before game week 1, and I still stand on what I said. So where are we finishing the league? Like I said, it's 3 teams better than us, so that means top 4. We're getting 4th place. I believe we're getting 4th place. Like I said, we're just it's a marathon, not a sprint. Like calm down. Like and I feel like that was the issue with Arsenal. And not saying, and I don't want to knock down Arsenal. Like, yes, I'm a hater. I'm a hate all the time. But this is me being honest. This is me being realistic. The first time Arsenal went for the league, and, you know, they had the league on lock and still blew it. But it was obvious it was too premature. It was too premature. And that's what happened last year, and that's gonna happen now. It's too premature. Let's see how the season goes, and then maybe that next year is win the league or nothing at this point. Because if let's say we get top 4 comfortably, then it's more like, okay, you're comfortably one of the 4th best teams in the league. Why can't you win the league? That's like, we have to watch this season to see if it's possible to win the league next year. And we're gonna see a lot of good, and we're gonna see a lot of bad, and that's okay. That's life. You know, you look at the bad and you fix the bad. The issue is if you don't fix the bad, aka goalkeepers. So I'm not gonna go too much on the league, just because I assume I already know what's gonna happen. We're gonna do good. We might fall off for a bit, and then we're gonna come back. Simple as that. It happens. How we're gonna do in the cups, FA Cup and Carabao Cup, Carling Cup, whatever you want to call it. We are either winning them or making it far in the competition. Making it far meaning like semifinals, or make it to the final and then lose. Even at our worst, it's shown that we can still do well in the cups, aka like making it to the under Poch, we made it to the semi-final FA Cup, and we made it to the final of the Carabao Cup. Did we win them? No, of course not. But we at that point, it was literally Palmer FC, and we still made it far, and we still competed pretty well. I'm not gonna talk about that final. That was embarrassing. But hey, like, when it comes to like cups, I don't count out Chelsea. I don't count them out. Maybe you might get your Newcastle or a Brighton that, like last year, Newcastle and Brighton, they took us out of the cups. It happens, you know. I'm not too stressed about the cups. Yes, I would love to win them. I would love to win every fucking trophy. But it's not the end of the world if we don't win those. It does help if we don't win the other 2 big trophies. You know what I mean? It kind of like saves your season. You know, that winning those cups and get it in top 4, because, like, you know, aka United fans, like, they're at their worst, but in their mind it's like, oh, we won a trophy though, like 2 seasons ago. I'm just like, yeah, okay, yes, you can use that card, but it's nasty work. Like, I don't want to pull that card. I don't like pulling that card. But hey, a trophy, a goal's a goal, and a hole's a hole. Champions League. We are finally back in the Champions League after 2 seasons. Was it 2? Yeah, 2 seasons. We're finally back in the Champions League. Going into the Champions League with a Club World Cup and a Conference League, meaning we won every single trophy available. We're the only club in the world to say that. How we're gonna do in the league phase? I think if we don't qualify in general is a failure. That's all. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna see some good. We're gonna see some bad. Hopefully a lot of good. But if we have to go into like playoffs to go into the next round, it's kind of like, what the fuck, you know? Like, we shouldn't be doing this. But as long as we go through, how far do I think we're gonna go? The egotistical side of me is like, we're gonna fucking win this. If we could beat PSG, we could win it all. And that's very true. If we could beat PSG, who are the Champions League winners and quote unquote the best team in the world currently, we could win the whole fucking tournament. Fucking win number 3. But being realistic, across a full season, I think quarterfinal is our limit. I do think after that it gets serious, and I don't think we're ready for that. I don't think so. Please prove me wrong. I just want to prove me wrong, but that's me being realistic. Okay, that's that for like the season. It's gonna, like I said, it's gonna be a lot of ups and downs, a lot of good moments, a lot of bad moments. Just buckle up, enjoy the ride. Have patience. Just fucking have patience. Like, one thing goes bad and then the Chelsea fan base turns into World War III. And like, I already have issues with our fan base. I love our fan base and I hate our fan base. Like, it's a love and hate relationship. There's a lot of goods and a lot of bad. Just fucking relax. Just relax. We're fine. We're fine right now. We just keep improving. Let's just keep going. Just keep going and have faith in the team. Okay. When it comes to our squad, who's gonna be our signing of the season? Our signing of the season would definitely be João Pedro, and that's something I had in mind since the Club World Cup. He was on holiday, came off the bench against Palmeiras, was better than fucking Jackson. Immediately started the semi-final against Fluminense, his boyhood club. Scored 2 bangers on him. I'm like, fucking hell, who is this guy? I did not expect this. Going to the final, Palmer, you know Palmer doing Palmer things, and he laid him off one for João Pedro, and he chips Donnarumma, who's a tall fucking keeper and a class keeper. I'm like, this guy's insane. Now we're going into the season. He didn't play well against Crystal Palace. I don't think that was a team he should have started against. That should have been Leon Delap. Very physical English striker going against physical center backs. That should have been Leon Delap, not João Pedro. Going into West Ham, we saw them both starting. And João Pedro played behind the striker, more of a cam, like a roaming cam. He was everywhere. Got a goal and 2 assists. He will be our signing of the season, and I guarantee by the end of the season he will be one of the best players in the world. And I've already seen a lot of content creators saying that, and I believe that. He has the skill set. He has the skill set, and like, he has the potential to be one of the best players in the world. I'm not saying the best player, but one of the best players in the world, or one of the best players in the league. Like I said, I was very surprised in the Club World Cup, because I'm like, I didn't expect this. I knew he was good. I didn't think he was this good. And then I'm starting to think maybe, I mean, not maybe, but it definitely happens with other players that like they leave one club and they immediately join a bigger, better club, and their game immediately elevates, or the game becomes unlocked. You know, maybe Brighton was just a stepping stone for him, and from what I see right now, it definitely was. I thought Watford and Brentford was Brighton was like his limit. From what I'm seeing now, boy oh boy, that could be Brazil's starting 9 in the World Cup coming up after this season. And the fact that Brazil don't have a solid 9 because Richarlison is inconsistent, Gabi Jesus is inconsistent, Cunha isn't a striker, but they throw him in there. Rodrigo or Vinny or Rafinha sometimes fills in the striker role. So then you don't have a solid 9. Looking at João Pedro, he could be that 9. And guess what? Yes, was it yesterday or 2 days ago on Monday? Him, Santos, and Estevao called up to the Brazilian national team by Ancelotti. Tik Tok. It's gonna happen. Ja Pedro is the truth. That boy's a fucking baller. Holy. He's definitely signing of the season. Who's gonna be our most improved player? Coming off of our Club World Cup, I think our best player at that Club World Cup was Pedro Neto. He ended the season very strong, and then going into that Club World Cup, he was a beast. And I still think he's gonna improve even more. He could definitely unlock double-digit goals this year across all comps. Not saying in the league, but across all comps. He has a sexy left foot, 2-footed at times. But he's just, and he has insane work rate. He's not just a winger that's gonna touch line. No, he's gonna come inside. He's gonna come inside. He's gonna track back. He's gonna chase defenders. He's the type of player that every manager would want. Like, yes, he's a winger. He's a winger. But that just doesn't. Him being a winger just doesn't only define his game. Like, there's a lot more to Pedro Neto, and the fact that we're able to keep him healthy. Shout out Maresco for that. But the fact that he's staying healthy, and he's constantly improving now. Yes, he's already in his mid-20s. I get that, but this is the player. This is the type of player. This is the player that people were thinking he was gonna go off at Wolves and then make that a huge signing. You know, people laughed at us for signing Pedro Neto. Some people laughed at us. Some people were like praised him, like, "Oh shit, great signing." And yeah, now having the likes of like Liam Delap and João Pedro, who are both tall and very good in the air, those crosses are finally gonna land on somebody's head. And not only that, like when you have like more brilliant minds around you, you're just gonna improve your game even more. When you have the likes of Esteval, Palmer, João Pedro, Jamie Gittins, then behind you have Caicedo, Santos, Lavia, Enzo. On the wings you got Cucurella, Hato, Reece James, Malagusto. There's insane talent around everywhere. It is more just like either improve your game or you're gonna get left behind. And that's what happens with certain players at this club. If you don't make the cut, you bounce. You go into the other side of London. You want to over there with the Gooners, because we like you gotta like it's with so much talent around you, it's kind of impossible not to improve your game, in my opinion. Like I even feel it when it comes to me playing like little five-a-sides. I know when I look at the caliber of the team I'm on, we're not gonna do too good. But when I see other players, I'm like, ooh, he a little techy. Him, he got a little something on him. Pause. Your game just elevates. Your confidence just grows. You know, I'm a confident player, but most of realistic. I'm like, all right, you know, I got this bozo next to me. We're not gonna do too good, but I got Ronaldinho 2.0 next to me. Oh, we cooking. We hooping. So Pedro Neto this year, he hooping, and he's going to be our most improved player. Our ones to watch, I have two players because I can't decide between those two, and the reason I have them both is because they're not guaranteed starters yet, but with their potential they could definitely have a conversation to be in a starter. I have Esteval and Andres Santos. Santos is a very, very good Brazilian midfielder. Since he joined us at 18, I've wanted him to stay at the club, but no, he got sent on loans. I was like, fuck, and then he started balling out at Strasbourg. I was like, yo, I'm not surprised by this. I know the type of player that he is. Sometimes you just look at a player and just like, yes, he's gonna be good. Like he's gonna be good. Like he has the potential to be a starting in the starting midfield for Brazil at the World Cup, in my opinion. That's how good he is. I saw him play for the very first time against Brighton in a preseason summer series in 2023, and I was happy for what I saw. And then, like I said, watching what I saw at Strasbourg, I'm like, I'm not surprised. And even him being a loanee, also captain of a very young Strasbourg side that were tearing up Ligue 1. He's just insane. Why he's not a starter yet? Because he has two in my opinion, world class midfielders in his position, which is Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. Yes, Caicedo is loved by everybody in the fan base. Yeah, you got your 1% haters in there, but the reason why I say he's a one to watch because Enzo Fernandez. Those that know me know I love Enzo Fernandez. He's one of my favorite players. And when he joined our club, I was over the fucking moon. But there's an issue with Enzo Fernandez in his position. There's an issue because the role he plays in the club is in his position, even though he's excelling well in that position, but also not doing well in that position. Kind of weird. There's games where I'm just like, yes, he's cooking. But there's games where I'm just like, he's not cooking. He's not cooking. And like our fan base is very like split on him. Like some want him gone and sold. Others like, no, this is like one of the faces of the club. This is our vice captain, and I'm on this side. There's many times Enzo can hide a bad performance with a goal and an assist, and he did that last year. Am I mad at it? No, but more just like, bro, like lock the fuck in. Like it's kind of hard to like defend him sometimes, but I know he's a great player, and there's a reason he's the vice captain. There's a reason he's starting all the time. There's a reason Maresca likes him so highly. There's a reason Scaloni starts him all the time in the Argentine national team. There's a reason why he was a young player, the best young player at the World Cup. A lot of times it's his price tag. Like people to this day don't think he's worth that price, and honestly, nobody is worth that price, realistically. But is that his fault? No, that is not his fault. So Santos is a great player, and if Enzo doesn't lock the fuck in, that spot could definitely be Santos. And even then, even if he doesn't become a regular starter, there's games Enzo does get rested because, you know, he's not like Caicedo that's a brick wall, and then like Caicedo could tore his ACL and then by the next day he good. Like, you know, that's not Enzo. Enzo is very like a lot more, I would say, sensitive. His body is a lot more sensitive than Caicedo's. So there is games Santos will start. There's also the possibility of just rotating, just regular rotation, or even off the bench, because you also have Romeo Lavia, who's not always fit, and at this point it's kind of getting like annoying and worrying. So even if you're not a starter, you're definitely coming off the bench for either Caicedo or Enzo or even Palmer, because he could definitely play the 10 as a box-to-box, you know. So yeah, Santos is definitely one to watch. Estevao, I've been telling people since the day we fucking signed him and he was at Palmeiras at 17. I'm like, this guy is better than Endrick, and that's not only coming from me. This is the guy. This was coming from the own Palmeiras' own head coach. He's like, this kid is better than Endrick. Don't get it fucked up. Yes, Endrick is going to Madrid, but this guy is definitely way better. And he played a full season for Palmeiras as a starter and broke Neymar's record for most goal contributions from like a under 18-year-old. You know, insane. And it's not just Neymar. It's talking about like all, like, there's a lot of Brazilian legends under that list, and he was at the top. Some people weren't like so happy with his performances at the Club World Cup, which is okay, but you could definitely see something there. And then coming into Chelsea, I'm very excited. And he, like I said, he's not gonna be a starter because a lot of players in his position, but he started against West Ham because Palmer went down with an injury at the warm-ups. And the kid's a fucking baller. Simple as that. You definitely saw some things where like, all right, he definitely needs to improve some things. Like he was the reason why West Ham scored. He did a little flick. He did a backheel flick in our own box. In the Brazil league, you're gonna get away with that. Not in the Prem. So the things he's gonna learn. He also played a different role in the West Ham game because at Crystal Palace in our preseason games, and even at Palmeiras, he was a touchline winger, and a lot of people were impressed. But against West Ham, yes, he was quote unquote on the wing, but with the ball in formation, Malo Gusto was the winger, and then Esteval was more as a right cam, playing with João Pedro and Enzo Fernandez. So we had 3 cams behind the striker, and him playing on that right side of the cam, he was insane. And he got man of the match and an assist for Enzo Fernandez. That kid is definitely a one to watch, and definitely a one to watch for the future in the sense of saying like he has the potential to be one of the best players in the world, the best player in the world. He's 18. Give him time, but don't be surprised that kid ends up with a Ballon d'Or one day. Don't be surprised. Okay, our top scorer, I believe, will be between Palmer and João Pedro, and I feel like it's self-explanatory. I believe those are our two best finishers in the club at this point. Palmer's gonna be Palmer, and then seeing what I see for João Pedro, I'm like, I won't be surprised if he gets double digits goals in the league. I won't be surprised. A little worried about Palmer because yes, he had a great Club World Cup, but he hasn't scored. He hasn't scored for Chelsea since January in the Prem, and I get that it's very worrying. But even when people saying like, oh yeah, he's not scoring and stuff like that, he was still doing his role in providing and creating chances for players. So Palmer just need to lock in. We just need to lock in, and we saw that against Chelsea. We saw that against PSG. When he's on fire, he turns everybody. When he's on fire, he makes it cold. That don't make no sense, but to me that makes sense. If you know what I mean. Top assist, I believe, is gonna be Enzo again. Last season it was Enzo. I feel like Enzo was our most improved player last year. And yeah, he's gonna be on a lot of free kicks. He's gonna be on a lot of corner. Like he's gonna be on a lot of set pieces. He's gonna be the final pass for a lot of players, especially now that we have players like Leon Delab, João Pedro, Pedro Neto, Esteval, Cole Palmer. Like we have a decent attack and players that can hopefully put the ball in the back of the net. So as long as we do that, I don't see why he wouldn't be our top assist again. Like in my opinion, Enzo's one of the best passers in Europe, in the world. Like he's at that level. Maybe his role right now at Chelsea doesn't show that, but if you saw him under Graham Potter when he first came in his first 6 months as a deep line playmaker as a 6, Lord have mercy, he was spraying balls. I'm talking about balls. So when Enzo's on fire, I don't doubt the man. I don't doubt the man. Our player of the season will be Moises Caicedo. Again, I think it's self-explanatory when it comes to the football world and the Chelsea fan base that Moises Caicedo is a joke. He is a fucking joke. And under Poch, it was definitely Palmer FC. Last season, it was definitely Caicedo FC. He was easily our best player. Even when Palmer was like going crazy, I'm like, Caicedo is dropping solid 8, 9, 10 out of 10s every game. Even when we're shit, when we're losing, or we're drawing games and playing garbanzo beans, he's our best player. At the Club World Cup, next to Pedro Neto, he was our best player. Honestly, he is a joke and a joy to watch, and I just love him. I genuinely love the guy. The man doesn't know I exist. Moises, yo te amo. Yo te amo. Te amo, mire. Like, I can confidently say that is the best CDM in the world. Confidently. Yes, Rodri is there, but that man don't got an ACL. I'm sorry. And my boy got 2. So, walk on, Crody. Like, Like when it comes to like band for band, I'm ruling my boy every single time. You can keep your Rice, you can keep your Zua Mendy, you can keep your Thomas Partey, you can keep your Rodri, you can keep your Nico Gonzalez, you can keep your Gravenberch, your Endo. I don't give a fuck. Moises Caicedo #1 every single time. I don't give a fuck. And yes, he's gonna. If you don't think he is the best CDM in the world, after this season you will. After this season you will say that. And I will confidently say that. Like, there's nothing you can say to prove me wrong that he is not the best CDM in the world. There's nothing. There's nothing. And I still think we haven't seen the best of Moises Caicedo. I still believe that. Because if you watch it from Ecuador, he's not even as a lone six for Ecuador. He's a box-to-box midfielder. Carrying that fucking Ecuadorian team. Because, yes, they have a very, like, promising team. But it's obvious to see he's their best player. Obvious to see. I'm just grateful and happy that man is at my club, and I think he will be our player this season again. Simple as that. Alright, that is the end of the video. I will be doing, like I said, I will be doing a lot of football content, Chelsea content, IRL content, football in general. We're doing strictly football. If it ain't football, it ain't gonna be here. You know what I mean? So, if you're new around here, like and subscribe. If you're a Chelsea fan, please subscribe, bro. We gang. So, and if you don't subscribe, then you're not a Chelsea fan. Simple as that. So yeah, if you enjoy the type of content, please like and subscribe. There's a lot more coming up. Like I said, we have a long season. There's gonna be a lot of goods. There's gonna be a lot of bads. So yeah, I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.
God is real and he using me for a bigger purpose. So fuck the world that would have you think that a nigga worthless. Sometimes I think that these verses can help a person way more than the ones they reading in churches on days of worship. No disrespect to the Lord and Savior, that ain't just ego. I just observed that them words no longer relate to people, cause modern time